23 riders, 12 rounds, 36 races and one World SBK champion 2025 starts now. As the curtains rose on the new season, BMW rolled out their brand new M1000RR in Berlin in front of a packed crowd. All eyes were on the reigning World SBK champion, Toprak Razgatlioglu, sporting the number 1.
Normally I don't like a number 1 that I use for BMW because BMW, this is the really big teamwork. Finally we are get the title, we are the world champion. But number 1 looks nice now with the BMW, and I hope we are keep end of the year. This is the important for me.
However, testing didn't get off to the best start for Toprak. The two-time champion suffered an injury to his right index finger while training just before Jerez. When El Turco returned at Portimao, he was happy to show off his injured finger. The BMW star trialled 2 different gloves to help him adapt to the injury, but no matter the obstacle in his way, when the BMW star ventured out onto the track, there was no stopping Toprak as he ended the Portimao test fastest. But will the champ be ready for Phillip Island?
After the test, I'm going back to the Turkey immediately because I'm going to do the physio. Because after the test, I have just 12 days before the Phillip Island. We will see, I'm trying to do everything. But looks now is not bad. But if my finger is getting better, I think I'm more relaxed on the bike. Normally, I'm not expect the fingers like this because I'm starting very fast. And I'm lucky in the track. The feeling just a little bit pain, not a lot, and also I use the hard braking. Everything is good, but not bad day for me. I did 60 laps, and we try also the many things, and it's generally very positive test. We are very strong, and we did very good lap times after laps.
After getting back to winning ways in 2024, Michael van der Mark looks to make his mark on the season ahead.
We've been building a lot of momentum last year, also on my side, and like I said, we finished the season so strong. So with everything new and a little bit improved, we should be there from the start, and I have a lot of confidence. And of course, it's racing, and Phillip Island is always different, but I think we are stronger than last year.
Last year's BMW M1000RR that took Toprak to the title has been rolled into the museum and rolled out a brand new updated version that the German marque hope will take them to greater heights.
The new M1000RR has an optimized engine. On the street bike it's 6 horsepower more, so this means there are changes in the engine which improve and make room for improvement to gain more power, more durability, more linearity.
It's a 2025 upgrade. It's a complete new aerodynamic package with the bike. A lot of work has been done on this, and it's now fully homologated, available to the public.
And what were the riders' impressions of the new machine ahead of the new season?
Well, luckily they had a smile on the face, so it was a very good first impression. But like always, the very first test with a new bike, a new specification of engine and the whole bike package gives you also some homework and questions. So overall, they saw the potential of the bike, that it makes an improvement compared to last year.
We are improve a little bit the grip. This is the good because of what I need. And we are improving a little bit grip and a little bit the electronic side. And the fairing a little bit different now. I'm feeling bike a little bit more agile. This is good also, this is a good step.
Bimota are back in WorldSBK for 2025. The iconic Italian brand make their return to the championship for the first time since 2014 and will be hoping to add to their 11 WorldSBK race victories. And with Alex Lowes and Axel Bassani already getting lots of mileage under their belt, what were their initial impressions of the KB 998?
We need to understand even how the changes make the bike feel, what I need from the bike, maybe riding style to change a little bit, how to take the most from the bike. So there's lots of things to do, lots of work to do, but it was nice to get started. I enjoyed riding the bike. The feeling was honestly nice from the first laps this morning. So yeah, it's been a really, really good fun first day on the bike. This bike, I think you need to ride a little bit smoother and yeah, I think it's a riding style. I need to change my riding style to get everything out of the bike and understand it a bit more. Right now I feel like I'm not really using the bike, so it's difficult when I know the old bike so well to really understand.
It's been an half a second better than my Supersport last weekend here in Jerez, so this means it's good. This means my feeling with the bike is good. I can push. But yeah, like I said before, we have a lot of work to do. It's only the start of new era with Bimota, and but yeah, when you start good, it's always nice.
We put the bike on track with the riders in October, November. Lap times was quite good, but we need to do a big job during the winter time. Now in Jerez and Portimao we arrive with items we expect to use in the first round in Australia. And starting from them, we need to evaluate performance, position according to the other manufacturers, and then consider next steps once we finish Australia.
Game Roda may be keeping his cards close to his chest. However, the stopwatch rarely lies, and looking at Axel Bassani in testing, featuring near the top of the times throughout, the Italian has taken to the KB 998 like a duck to water. But qualifying will be the focus for the season, so can he and his crew chief Marcel Dunker find an improvement in this area with the Bimota?
This bike is helped me for my riding. It's more, much better for my riding style. So I'm feeling more relaxed when I'm riding, and this is, I think, is one of the most important things. I hope to continue like this. Also, the rest of the track to have always the same feeling, and we'll see. For me, the Supersport is being not good. It was always difficult to find a good lap and to be in a good position on the grid. But with this bike, I think we are a little bit better.
Axel felt right from the very first lap, but the most important thing for us is that he understands the bike and we understand what he is doing. So yeah, I think we have a solid base to soon start the season. One lap pace is important, but of course race distance is even more important. We did in November, and yeah, it was quite impressive, much faster than in the race. Okay, conditions are never the same, but it was very solid.
While a lot of talk over the winter was the possibility of Bimota running the active aero. However, it was the steel trellis and aluminium split chassis that got the attention of a rival brand.
Bimota is now joining with a very interesting chassis for sure. For me as a chassis engineer from the past, it's an interesting topping. It's a beautiful bike and a very intelligent solution regarding the chassis and the combination of the chassis and engine. So I think this bike package has some potential, and I'm curious to see the first race in Phillip Island.
As testing came to a close in Portimao, it would be Alex Lowes that topped the final day, giving Bimota and the Brit a lot to be positive about as WorldSBK heads to Phillip Island. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, in terms of the rider lineup, that is. But the Iwata manufacturer will be hoping the only way is up after a difficult 2024. The Japanese brand brought out a new homologated Yamaha R1 for the final 4 rounds of last season, featuring wings, updated electronics and more in a bid to get back to winning ways. And with both Ray and Locatelli's contracts up at the end of the season, how are they feeling going into an important year?
Team's reacted in a really positive way. The new parts, the way we've worked through the off-season, is optimistic. You know, we still need to put everything together. It's just testing, but there's signs that, you know, things are more positive than last year.
Can't wait to start the season, especially to be in Phillip Island to make the first weekend of the race. I just working now in myself and around the bike to get a good feeling and to arrive there almost ready to be competitive, but we are sure that we can do, and we'll try to start the season immediately in the high level.
The six-time champ has changes inside his garage, with Uri Payares coming in alongside Jonathan Ray as his new crew chief. Although it's a new role for Payares, the experienced former mechanic has been alongside Ray throughout his 6 world titles.
He's the respect in the team already. It was quite nice. Always your first day at school. I'm sure he was quite nervous last November, but he'd done such a good job in November with the test plan and, you know, how they carried that out, that everyone gave him a, you know, standing ovation at the end and give him a big clap. So he's just down to business now, really. He's you know, a guy I trust a lot. He's incredible experience.
As a new rider and crew chief relationship blossoms, over on the other side, the honeymoon period between Locka and Tom O'Kane might be in the past, but the relationship is still going strong.
Yeah, honestly, I think now Tom, he know a little bit more me. He know the bike, he know the tire, he know many things. He know what happened around the race weekend. So for sure he can have more control around all the things. I think he will do well, and we try to growing up our relationship. We try to growing up the feeling with the bike, and then we see.
Having introduced a new homologated bike toward the end of last season, where are Yamaha still finding improvements, and in which areas is the Japanese mark focused on?
He tested a new development swing arm that again was fortunate in that it gave a proper step forward in grip and in performance. It was just a good basis on which to start the development path for the 25 season. Electronics, yes, we tested some stuff that was quite encouraging and some good potential for the future. Engine was the 24 motor at that point. Its outright acceleration and performance is clearly an area, not so much for lap time, but for, as a race machine, that we need to improve on to make the guy's life just a little bit easier.
We are working definitely in 360 degree. Here we have some chassis parts, some electronic stuff, but basically we are working everywhere.
With a new year brings lots of new exciting changes, with some familiar faces changing brands and taking on new challenges. And for Scott Redding and Bonovo, this couldn't be more true, as they switch from BMW to Ducati, and for the 12-time race winner, he returns to the Italian manufacturer for the first time since 2021. We caught up with the British star as he was accompanied by his biggest fan.
I thought I'll get on this bike and it will feel like the bike from 21 or whenever it was, 2020, and it wasn't. But everything changed a little bit over those years, which is normal, but also like power delivery, the brakes, everything was quite different from my past 3 years, but slowly I managed to get more comfortable on the bike, and in the end it feels similar, just a little bit different characteristics from the engine. The goal was to get the bike and the team around me to build my confidence and show my potential again. So my goal is to really fight for the World Championship.
How are Ducati feeling about Scott's return?
We are happy to have him back, and especially we are happy to have to add MGM Bonovo team also to Ducati family. It seems from the very beginning that he likes a lot. The bike has improved respect what he have used in 21.
Garrett Gerloff closed out 2024 with 2 podiums in the second half of the year. But the smiley American joins Manuel Puchetti's outfit on the Kawasaki for his 6th season in WorldSBK, and both parties will be chasing success in 2025.
The front end on the Kawasaki I think feels really nice, and I feel like I have more confidence on the front, which is positive for me because I try to use the front more than the rear a lot of times, so that's something that's been really nice. Also, like the stability of the bike feels really good, so happy about that. This bike has a lot more torque, and so after you pass the torque in the mid-range, it feels like it dies off a little bit, but that's honestly better for like being on the track?
Very smiley boy, very nice to work with him, very simple guy. He's adapted very quickly on the crew, new team, everything. So I think will be a very good season in front, and I believe we will perform very fast.
2014 Moto2 World Champion Tito Rabat moves away from Puccetti to join the Yamaha Moto X Racing WorldSBK team for 2025 on board the Yamaha.
To be honest, I have good sensations, good feelings. We focus on the race pace to make laps, to know the bike, to understand the bike, and the race pace was good.
The rookies class of 2025 has 4 new faces, all looking to establish themselves in a hugely competitive season. The most high-profile figure is 2024 World Supersport runner-up, Yari Montella. He stays with Barney Ducati as the Italian team fields a full-time 2-rider lineup for the first time.
For me, it's like a dream, you know. I'm here in Superbike with Ducati, that is the best bike at the moment. With a teammate like Danilo, with a lot of experience. So I hope to learn as much as possible.
The Italian isn't the only rider from World Supersport stepping up in 2025, with 4-time World Supersport 300 and World Supersport winner Bahattin Safwoglu also making the jump to WorldSBK, giving the Turkish fans plenty to cheer for, as for the first time there will be 2 full-time Turkish riders on the grid.
For sure it's a difficult category because a lot of good names, legends, many world champions inside, and this for sure in my rookie season we put with Kenan is top 15, but I hope I can do much more better than this, and I want to do some surprises also, I hope.
9-time British Superbike race winner Ryan Vickers makes his full-time World Championship debut with the Italian-run Team Motocorsa Racing. The British rider showed good speed in testing as he got used to life in WorldSBK.
The electronics is so advanced. Like I say, you can do corner by corner electronics, where before it was gear dependent. I'd have one map for first, one map for second, and you'd make a compromise. You know, you weren't able to make it perfect for any corner because you might sacrifice somewhere else. Whereas now you can make it absolutely perfect on all aspects. Throttle, engine braking, absolutely everything for each individual corner on the circuit. The thing for me is a lot of learning to do, but really enjoying it.
Vickers isn't the only rider stepping away from the domestic scene, as All Japan Road Race competitor and 2022 Asia Road Race champion Zakwan Zaidi replaces Adam Norridin at the Petronas MIE Honda Racing Team for 2025. However, the Malaysian missed out on crucial testing mileage at Jerez and Portimao for logistical reasons. However, the team are confident we'll see the Malaysian in Phillip Island. From rookies to returnees and those that we expect to see fighting at the sharp end and will be well and truly in the mix in 2025 as they will be continuing with their teams. A lot of eyes will be on Barney Ducati's Danilo Petrucci, fresh from, well, maybe not so fresh, from a bit of Dakar rallying.
Just came back from the Dakar and was, even if I did just the first week, the first half, but was always intense. But anyway, I'm feeling good, really happy to be here in this team again. So yeah, I think we have all the good things for make a great season. Last season we had a good season despite my injury, but anyway I was able to recover, to score a lot of points, to fight for the top 5 in the championship. So yeah, already improved this result, could be a good thing.
2024 will be remembered for Andrea Iannone's return to racing and return to winning ways with victory in Aragon. The Maniac will be hoping that 2025 will see even more silverware added to the collection.
I think it's important we focus and we try to improve every day, step by step, with calm, without pressure. This is important. At the end, I think I prefer for sure 25 than 24 on the beginning, no? Because with experience, everything is much better.
Over at GYRT Yamaha, it was more about getting the riders ready than the bike ready in the initial tests, as both Remy Gardner and Tommy Aguilar suffered injuries at the end of last year.
I was 1 month out on the sofa, which wasn't fun, but yeah, in December I started riding again. Actually, my first day back on the bike was an enduro race, so yeah, I jumped straight back into it. Been training really hard, and yeah, feeling really good at the moment. So still a bit of a pain in the wrist, but other than that, I'm pretty much ready.
Yeah, the strength is back, but the plate and the screws is still inside. This makes me a little bit pain, so before the season start or the first race start, I will take off the plate and the screws, so I have the full mobility again. And yeah, it should be just to recover the scarf, and then I will be full ready for Phillip Island, the first race.
However, once testing got underway, both riders were down to business and assessing the new package.
We have a few new parts. It seems like it could be positive, but there are a few negatives at the moment we're trying to work around, but I need a bit more time on the new parts to kind of get my head around it and work with them a bit more.
Yamaha was working really hard this winter. I could see they was really busy. So yeah, now it's our time to test these items they bring, and then to select for the season or for the first race the best things and the best package.
2024 was a baptism of fire in many respects for 10-time Moto2 race winner Sam Lowes. The Brit had the speed, but luck wasn't always on his side. However, a second campaign on board the Elf Mark VDS racing team Ducati, and with new crew chief Gorka Segura moving away from Xavi Vierge's garage, we'll get onto that shortly. Lowes will be confident of a more fruitful season.
This is my second year in Superbike, so no longer a rookie in the class. My target at the beginning is to really sort of get back to the level we started at last season, because the second half of the year I struggled with injury and just the direction. So yeah, fighting for the top 10, top 8, then positions like it was in the beginning of 24, and then to progress from there. So I feel good. I feel like I understand the class a lot better now and what I need to do, and yeah, looking forward to getting going.
From one WorldSBK sophomore to another, 2021 British Superbike champion and World Supersport winner Taryn McKenzie is back again with the Petronas MIE Honda squad, and with closer links to the factory Honda team, the Scot is aiming higher in 2025.
Big improvements from that we kind of got given at the end of last year in the test, which I felt like I made a good step, and again new stuff has arrived, which is nice, so just trying to build on that and gain more experience. I feel like I can be competitive here and be fast. It's just sometimes hard to express that and show that, so yeah, with these new bits hopefully it does make a step.
Suspension. It's not just how we feel about the start of the season, but it's the word on everyone's lips down at HRC. After spending 3 seasons with Showa suspension, the Japanese marque have switched back to Öhlins for 2025 in a bid to find a way back to the front.
The good thing is that help a little bit on our weakest point, that as you know is the traction. So we believe that if we understand how to find a little bit more on that direction, I'm convinced that we will make a step forward.
What I feel, I like it, honestly. Of course, I cannot try proper the rear, for example, that you need to push more to use the tire. But the front and the braking, some brakings, I try to push a bit more and I feel quite well, so I like.
Happy holidays? Well, not quite for Iker Lecuona. The Spanish rider suffered a cracked rib and a shoulder injury, which put him out of action at the Jerez test. However, the Spaniard was back for Portimao, and despite some wet weather disrupting running, he finally got his hands on his 2025 steed.
About the ribs, I have zero problem. About the shoulder, I have more problems. but not about the column. Honestly, that feels really good. I feel very tight and very painful. The muscle, a lot on the back muscle from the shoulder. No, so I improve a lot. I start on the gym, on the bicycle, and every day I feel better and better. So I need to be patient.
Xavi Vierge's side of the garage also sees changes as Tetsuya Sasaki, formerly with Suzuki's MotoGP squad, steps in as crew chief for the Spaniard.
Yes, I worked just 4 days, and the first days of work was more about back-to-back tests, and we don't have enough time to work thinking on myself. But yeah, the first feeling was very good. He had a lot of experience, so I think we can make a good job together.
They got a very good relationship, so I think it's a matter of time to build up this confidence and try to understand each other. So, but I'm positive, and I'm thinking like it's going to be a good combo between both of them.
Arguably the strongest lineup for 2025, Ducati once again fielded two-time champion Alvaro Bautista and 2024 WorldSBK runner-up Nicolo Billiga. The Italian had a spectacular rookie season, and the question is, will he go one better in 25?
Well, last year was a very good season for me, unexpected season, so it will be difficult to go even more or faster, because last year was already very good. But for sure I'm here for this. I training a lot during the winter. My team work a lot during the winter, so I think if I can make a small step, I'm happy, and I feel that I have more experience, so 1 year of experience is better than nothing, so I will try to do what I learned last year and trying to be better this year.
2022 and 23 WorldSBK champion had a difficult season by his standards in 24. This Spaniard has changed his approach in the off-season, and after day one of the Jerez test in late January, the Spaniard had a smile on his face and feeling positive about the season ahead.
I feel much better than the start of the last season, because fortunately this winter I can train in my normal situation without injuries. So yeah, first of all is the health, so I'm happy for that. Then for the races we'll see. It's, for sure will be a big challenge. More riders are competitive, more bikes are faster, and for sure 25 will be even more difficult than 24. But we are working so well, I feel good. Yeah, I feel so motivated for this season, and try to recover the good feeling and try to fight for victories and why not for the championship.
However, at the Portimao test, the Spaniard had a fast crash at the downhill turn 9 corner that left the two-time champion with more questions than answers heading into the new season.
Just entering turn 9, I lose the rear without any warning, and yes, I did a really big high side because that corner is too fast. I have big impact against the ground. I impact with my head and also with my left arm and hand. In any case, I was lucky because that kind of crash are too dangerous, and I want pieces, so it's okay. Basically, I don't have any good confidence right now with the bike, so I hope to build up there in Australia and try to prepare good the weekend.
6 manufacturers and all with a stacked cast of characters, and that's not just the riders we're talking about. As the teams have their goals set for 25, we caught up with each manufacturer to find out where they see themselves in the new season.
Our motivation is very high because last year we fight until the end for the championship. In the end, Toprak and BMW have won, but this year is a new challenge, push as much harder as possible to give the number 1 back to Ducati.
If Ducati want to claim back the number 1 plate, they will have to wrestle it from BMW, and the new champions expect some competition, but they won't give it up without a fight.
We don't underestimate the opposition at all. We know the strength of the other manufacturers. We know specifically that Nicolo Bulliger will be very strong, Alvaro will come strong.
It's a different mindset we have now from being the hunters, now being the hunted, and so far it feels really good. I think if you're coming as the champion, you always want to win the championship again. There's a manufacturers championship as well, which we were not able to win last year, and we are going for sure for both. We go all in.
Toprak Razgat Lioglu's former employer Yamaha are hopeful of a return to form with Jonathan Rea and Andrea Locatelli, but they know it won't be easy.
It's still a championship, whatever the bike, that the rider can make the difference and the team that can make the difference and the setup. So, as you say, it was extremely close racing last year, despite Toprak ultimately being very dominant in terms of the number of wins and the streak he put together. It was still great racing, so we very much hope to be in that fight at the front and vying for the podium positions.
Honda ended 2024 on a positive note, with a podium in the final 4 rounds and featuring more prominently at the front. And with new Olin suspension for 25, there's lots to look forward to within HRC, but they're keeping their expectations in check.
The target is always to win, but obviously that's a really hard part of this job, and we will see. As long as we can keep improving every time, it's going to be good.
Improvements is the name of the game over at Bimota. Testing went well, however, Guillaume Roda, when pressed on how ready they feel about the start of the season, the wily Spaniard kept his cards close to his chest.
We're going to arrive in Australia not at over 100%, it is sure. We expect 75% of the development. You need to produce some of the ideas, test those ideas, and once you check are working, then you need to produce more parts to make necessary stock. We cannot escape to the reality, and we need to use 25 to grow up a development plan on the race we can and try to improve the bike.
After being a force with Kawasaki in many categories for 20 years, Manuel Pachetti's squad have been promoted to factory status within Kawasaki and being renamed Kawasaki WorldSBK team. And to say Manuel Pachetti was eager to start the season, well, that would be an understatement.
From this year we are very in touch with Kawasaki Japan, overviewing all our job, agree and together with Provec. So we try to do our best, and we are very happy to work with them. Many parts update from the bike this year, and generally it's getting better and better. I think we'll be very competitive directly from the first round.
World Supersport looks set to have another bumper season. 2024 champion Adrian Huertas moves to Moto2, but old favourites return to etch their name on the championship trophy. And they're joined by high-profile figures from WorldSBK that will be looking to adapt quickly and put themselves in the championship mix.
You need to ride in a different way because the power for sure is less, you know. So I need to adapt, for example, to bring more corner speed and also in other small areas. But I keep learning, I'm in the process to be able to ride this bike in the best way. The goal is to be able to fight for the championship.
Pressure is definitely high, but I feel I'm in a good position, good team in the moment, and I approach everything day by day. Everybody in World Supersport wants to win the championship. I hope for it, I really hope for it, and we will give our best.
2025 could be one of the closest seasons we have ever seen in World Supersport, with so many fast riders on ultra-competitive motorbikes and featuring faces such as Stefano Manzi, Chan Onchu, Federico Caricasulo, Lucas Mayas, as well as Bo Benschneider and 2023 Moto3 World Champion Jaume Masia. But who do Rinaldi and Ertl expect to fight for the title?
Manzi, who finished the last 2 seasons in second place, is one of the strongest, but also Ottel will jump in the team who has been a world champion twice.
Ben Snyder, Manzi, Oncho, DBs, Maías, Rinaldi. I think will be a tight season. I feel bad if I miss some riders.
10 riders and 10 manufacturers World Championships, 147 race victories spanning 25 years. The Yamaha R6 has been retired and will go down in history as one of the most successful and iconic motorbikes we've ever seen. In its place comes the striking new 890cc 3-cylinder Yamaha R9 for 25. Michael Rinaldi is under no illusions about the task ahead as Yamaha Road Racing Technical Manager Riccardo Tisci explains the new concept.
Basically the bike is, let's say, a completely different concept than R6. It's a pure racing bike now. Of course the engine character is completely different from R6. Basically they appreciate a lot the engine character, engine torque. Of course now we are at the beginning of the development, so we need to work on the bike. So actually riders has some positive feelings, some negative feelings, so now we are just going to collect all the info and then continuing the development of the bike.
The bike have a good potential, but for sure is young and we need to work. Yamaha is hungry, everybody wants to achieve the top goal. At the moment we just stay focused on do a good job and work really hard.
Another iconic motorbike we say sayonara to for 25 is the Kawasaki ZX-6R. But the Japanese brand have rolled out their new ZX-6R 636 Ninja with an updated aero package, electronics, new fairing and engine. The displacement has gone from a 599cc 4-cylinder to a 636cc, and the brand new Ninja will be run by Manuel Pichetti's Kawasaki World Supersport team. And it's not just new motorbikes for 25, but world champions in the lower classes also make their debut, with the first Indonesian world champion Aldi Mahendra making the step up from World Supersport 300 with the Yamaha Blue Crew Evenbro's team. While 2018 World Supersport 300 and 24 World WCR champion Ana Carrasco makes her debut in the class with the Honda Racing World Supersport team. The two-time champ knows 25 will be a learning year, adapting to a new bike and class, but is confident of better results throughout the year.
The power for sure is the biggest difference, but as a rider is you have to ride in a different way to try to brake more hard into the corner, less corner speed, and to try to approach better the exit of the corner to approach this power. But normally on the small bikes is the opposite. You have to keep the speed on the corner and try to open the throttle too early. After these days it was important to know where I have to work to improve myself. My target is to try to be as fast as possible, to learn also all that I can, but I'm ready to work with the team to improve myself and for sure to improve the result during all the season.
With Ana Carrasco graduating to World Supersport, World WCR is going to be a spectacular season of intrigue and excitement. Maria Herrera, Sara Sanchez and Beatriz Nela all return for the second year of the class, and there will be no quarter given as the three biggest names in the series chase World WCR glory. And after the final corner of the final race of 24, expect there to be fireworks throughout. But that's not all. Expect the race for victory to be bigger and better than ever, with podium finishers Roberta Ponziani and Taylor Ralph staying for another season. And riders that we could see make another step in 25 include Astrid Madrigal, Mallory Dobbs, Paquita Ruiz, and returning for a full season of World WCR action after making a good impression on the class in the final event, Chloe Jones. It's promising to be an unmissable season, and it all starts at round 3, the Cathedral of Speed, Assen. Talking of unmissable, the final season for the ultra-competitive World Supersport 300 class takes place in 25. Kicking off at round 2 in Portimao, the class will want to go out on a high and we very much expect it to be as close as ever. 24 champion Aldi Mahendra graduates to World Supersport. However, the class is as stacked with talent as ever. Two-time champion Jeffrey Bowes, the rider synonymous with World Supersport 300, will want to reign supreme one final time and be remembered as the ultimate champion in the class. However, the Dutchman will have quite the task on his hands, with race winners including Mirko Genai, David Salvador, Matteo Vernucci, Petr Svoboda and more, all returning alongside very fast youngsters expecting to make a step forward in 25, including Carter Thompson, Elia Bartolini and rookie Beñat Fernandez. For one final time in World Supersport 300, it's lights out. There aren't many technical changes for 25, but there is one that could prove significant and has everyone in WorldSBK talking. Gone is the maximum RPM limit and in comes the fuel flow limit. All bikes will start the season with the same limit, but with checkpoints every 2 rounds, this has the potential to subtly change the balance on the grid, with a dominant manufacturer seeing their fuel flow reduced slightly. That should see a reduction in maximum RPM available. The tyre allocation for each weekend has also changed for the coming season, with each rider now receiving 10 fronts and 11 rears. We welcome old classics and a new state-of-the-art circuit for the 12-round 2025 WorldSBK season. Starting off at the now traditional season opener, Phillip Island, from the 21st to the 23rd of February, before the European leg kicks off at the end of March for round 2 at Portimao. The Dutch TT at Assen in the Netherlands plays host to round 3 before heading to Italy, Cremona, for the 4th round. Most in the Czech Republic is next up before heading back to Italy, this time the Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli for round 6. The summer tour continues, this time where it all began, Donington Park in the United Kingdom, before the inaugural Hungarian WorldSBK round at Balaton Park, where WorldSBK celebrates its 1000th race during the Superpole race. A small break before getting underway for the final 4 rounds. Magny-Cours in France takes place in the first weekend of September before the Iberian Peninsula run, starting off with Motorland Aragon, then returning to Portugal, which will bring the season to a high-octane conclusion as it's back-to-back with a season finale at Jerez. Races decided by millimetres, elbow-to-elbow tussles, riders brushing destiny with near misses, and champions becoming icons, wowing the fans and leaving us breathless. Can WorldSBK get any closer in 2025?
Yeah, definitely.
It's super close.
I hope yes. I think it's going to be a crazy year.
A lot of riders, I think, can fight for victories in every races.
I think we are fighting a lot on the front. This is good for the people.
Many competitors, many riders doing really well. The level in the World Superbike is really high.
I think this year the level will be even higher than last year.
The teams and the bikes level are getting much closer.
I think 10 or 12 riders can go on the podium this year.
There's a lot of fast riders that now have a bit more experience on the bike from last year.
So many fast guys, so many world champions on the grid on great packages.
I think World Superbike is as close as it's ever been. There's as many good riders and teams as there's ever been on the grid. So it's exciting to be part of. It's a close championship, it's a difficult championship.
Yeah, I think this is every season we say this, that it's getting closer and closer.
And I think it will be more difficult and it will be more different riders.
Obviously, top right, Bulliger, these guys at the top a little bit in front potentially, but I think then from 3 to 15 can be many people.
It's really easy to be in the top 3 and the race after to be out of top 10.
The gap between the podium and 15th is so close.
The satellite teams are winning races, they're strong, and the level of riders on them satellite bikes is really strong.
Fantastic to see so many different riders winning in World Superbike, and I think that's why everybody loves Superbike.
It will be an exciting year.
I think 25 will be a funny year.
It will be very, very funny for the spectator.
And I think everyone very enjoying.
It's a nice era to be part of, and hopefully I can put myself closer to the sharp end of the top 10 than I was last year.
All up to speed with WorldSBK for the new season ahead. It's time to get those revs rising, wait for the lights to go out, and it's time to go racing in 2025.